Good morning, students. Today we are going to do next two parts of climate chapter. That is the cold weather season and hot weather season. We have to do the features of these seasons. Let's start with the cold weather season, its characteristics or features. Children, in India, cold weather season, it begins from mid-November. That means around 15th or 10th of November. Cold weather season begins, especially in northern India, and it stays till the month of February. End of the February it is there. So what are the winter months? November to February. Then December and January. These are the 2 months which are called as the coldest months in the northern part of India. That means in these 2 months, temperature is very low. In this season, temperature decreases from south to north. That is, as you move from Kerala to Jammu Kashmir, the temperature will go down. That means in northern India, temperature will be very low. Maybe it sometimes goes in minus degrees also in the mountainous areas. In Delhi also, children, we experience temperature around 4 degrees Celsius, 3 degrees, 5 degrees Celsius. But that average temperature at that time in Chennai, which is on the eastern coast, is between 24 degrees and 25 degrees Celsius. We have done that in the winter months, in the whole of especially northern India, temperature is very low. But in the eastern coastal area, especially in Tamil Nadu, temperature is high, 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. That is why I told you during the retreat of the monsoons or withdrawal of the monsoons that the monsoons will go back towards the eastern coast. While in the northern plains, at the same time when in Chennai or in Tamil Nadu temperature is 24 to 25 degrees Celsius, which is high, at that time in northern plains average temperature is around 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius, which is low. And how is the weather at that time in the northern part of India? Days are warm. In the daytime, it is sunny. It's not hot. It is warm. There is a difference between hot and warm. So days are warm and nights are cold. This is a very important feature of cold weather season. How is the weather during in the cold weather? Days are warm and nights are cold, and frost is common in the north and the higher slopes of the Himalayas, and the mountainous regions also experience snowfall. So these are the few features, children. Now we proceed with the few more features of cold weather season. All these features, children, you have to write them point wise. For example, first point, winter season is from November to February in India. Second point, December and January are coldest months in the northern India. Third point, temperature decreases from south to north. Fourth point, temperature in Chennai is 24 to 25 degrees Celsius, whereas in northern India it is 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Days are warm, nights are cold, frost in north. And sixth point is frost in north, snowfall in Himalayas. And now we continue with the point, seventh point. In this season, children, where do winds blow from? We have already done a lot of concept on this. In the land, on the land, if the temperature is low in winters, pressure will be high. So winds will blow from where to where? Winds will blow from land to sea. That's what is given here, which is your next point, seventh point. Winds blow from land to sea. So what are these type of winds? Because the winds are blowing from land, they do not have any moisture on the land. So they are dry winds, children. So that's why it's a dry season. You know, your skin gets dry. So it's a dry season. There is no moisture content in the air, but some amount of rainfall occurs in the Tamil Nadu coast, which we have done, children, from these winds, because here the winds are blowing from sea to land. The winds in the Tamil Nadu coast are blowing from sea to land, because in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu coast temperature is 24 to 25 degrees Celsius, which is high. So the winds are blowing here from Bay of Bengal to the Tamil Nadu coast. That is why we say that Tamil Nadu receives winter rainfall, or it receives rainfall in the months of November or October, November and December. This is the next point, next feature, children. Some rainfall occurs on Tamil Nadu coast, as here winds blow from sea to land. Then how is the further weather in these winter months, children? Weather here is marked by clear skies, low temperature and low humidity. In the winter months, how is the weather further? It is clear sky, that is, there are no clouds. That is why it is warm. The rays of the sun directly are there. Low temperature is low, and low humidity, that is very less moisture will be present in the air. So that's your one more feature one more feature there, children. And then we come to the next part, that is, as we know that the winds are blowing from Ganga Valley from west and the northwest. That is, there is high pressure region develops with light winds moving outward from this area. Influenced by the relief, these winds blow through the Ganga Valley from the west and the northwest. This I have shown you, children. That is the western disturbances we are talking about, which we have already done in the earlier part. So continuation, children, further features we have. Further features, the important characteristic feature of this season is inflow of cyclonic disturbances. This also we have done in the last video. What are the cyclonic disturbances from the west and the northwest? Again, I am reading. There is an important characteristic feature of the cold weather season over the northern plains is the inflow of, that is, in blowing of these cyclonic disturbances from the west and the northwest, that is from the Mediterranean Sea. This also I have shown you in the videos with the figures. That is Mediterranean Sea, which is towards the northwestern part of India. From this Mediterranean Sea, the winds are blowing towards the Western Asia, and they move into India along with the westerly flow. We have done, children, jet stream, westerly jet stream. They are in the winters, they blow on the Ganga plains. If you remember, this is what we are talking about. These jet streams, they bring these winds which are blowing from the Mediterranean Sea towards the northwestern part of India. They cause much needed winter rains over the plains. These winds which are blowing from Mediterranean Sea to the north and northwestern part of India, they bring rainfall which is useful for the rabi crop which is growing in the northern part of India at that time. This winter rainfall is locally known as Mahavat. You will observe in even in Delhi also there is winter rainfall. Or in the months of December, around January, you will see that there is winter rainfall. So, why is this winter rainfall? It is because these westerly jet streams, they bring the winds which are blowing from the Mediterranean Sea. They bring these winds towards the Western Asia and towards the north and the northwestern part of the India. So, these westerly jet streams are blowing in winters on the Ganga plains. So, while blowing from Mediterranean Sea to the Ganga plains, they bring these rainfall. Water jet stream also we have done. They are blowing in the upper layer of the troposphere, upper air circulation this is. So, they bring the rainfall, and that rainfall is good for the rabi crops which is grown in the northern part of India, and this winter rainfall is also known as Mahavat, that is small. Small means less amount of rainfall, and they are immense importance for the rabi crops. So they are good for the rabi crops, children. But if it is in the form of droplets, it is good. But if it is in the form of hail, sometimes you might have seen there is hailstorm. That hail is not good for the crop because that will destroy the crop. But if it is rainfall, that is helpful for the rabi crop. Then that's one more feature, children. So, these are the features of the cold weather season. That's all. And then we continue with the next season, that is, children, hot weather season. This hot weather season also, we will do all the features or characteristics. The first characteristics of this is, first of all, this in the months of especially March to May. March to May, it is very, very hot. In March, the highest temperature is 38 degrees Celsius on the Deccan Plateau. When it is hot weather season, children, even in the Deccan Plateau also it is very hot. It's hot in northern India. It's as well as hot in the Deccan Plateau also. Here we are given all these features, children. So let's start with them. First feature is that March to May it is very, very hot. In the month of March, the highest temperature is about 38 degrees Celsius recorded on the Deccan Plateau. Then, in April, temperatures in Gujarat and MP reach very high, even to 42 degrees Celsius. In the month of May, temperature further goes high to 45 degrees Celsius, which is very, very common in the northwestern parts of the country. In peninsular India also temperature remains low due to the moderating influence of the oceans. That means in Deccan Plateau, in the northwestern part, in the northern part, not in the mountainous areas, plains of northern plains, these are intensely heated. There is very high temperature, but on the coastal areas, the temperature does not go very high. It remains moderate because of the influence of the water bodies, which we have already done. So there is a moderating climate or moderating effect of the climate on these areas, which are the coastal areas. Temperature is not very high. That's one more feature, children. Then summer months, we all know that in the summers the temperature is high on the land. When temperature is high on the land, what happens to the pressure, children? Which we have done a lot in the monsoons. When the temperatures are high in the summers on the land, especially on the Ganga plains, northwestern part of India, what happens to the pressure? Air pressure is very low. When the air pressure is very low, what happens? It will attract the winds. There is a low pressure area formed in the northern plains, northwestern part of India, northern plains. In Chota Nagpur Plateau, there is very much low pressure because of winds, because of which the winds are attracted towards the land. So in this season, the winds are flowing from sea to land. That is one more feature of this hot weather season, children. We continue with the further features. there is a very important striking feature of the hot weather season. That is, very striking feature means very important feature of this hot weather season, children. What is this important feature of hot weather season? This is the feature which we always observe even in Delhi, especially in the northern plains of India. What is that feature, children? Loo. You might have heard of this term, loo. Your parents might be saying, there is loo, don't go out. It will spoil your health. What is loo then? These are strong, you have to learn this definition. These are strong, gusty, hot, dry winds blowing during the day over the north and northwestern India. They are hot winds, children. The winds are going they are hot and they carry a lot of sand. Sometimes you will see that the house is filled with lots of dust. So the dust is carried by that wind and it is very harmful. If you directly get exposed to this wind, it can prove fatal also. You will get exposed, that means you will be ill also because of these hot winds, these storms. But what happens, have you ever observed when there is loo? First, there will be hot winds blowing, but after maybe 1 or 2 days, you will observe that these storm brings temporary relief. Now, why I'm talking about temporary relief? Temperature is 45 degrees Celsius. There is loo blowing, that winds are blowing, that winds will bring some after blowing. First, it will blow, the hot winds will blow, the dust will be there, then there will be little amount of rainfall because the winds are now attracted from the sea to the land, so it will bring some rainfall, and that little rainfall will lower the temperature, little lower the temperature. I'm not telling that from 45 degrees the temperature will fall to 4 or 5 degrees. No, children, not at all. From 45 degrees the temperature may fall to 30-35 degrees Celsius. And once the temperature falls, again there will be no rain. Again there will be no rain. And again, that is what in the beginning of the monsoons I taught you, breaks in rainfall. So the rainfall will be there, temperature will be low. Again, after 2-3 days, when the temperature is low, there will be no rain because the now winds will not be attracted. Now the temperature will go high again for few days. 15-20 days, temperature will be very high. It will go high, 45-46 degrees. Then again the pressure will fall, and again there is a low pressure trough on the land and it will attract the winds from the sea. Then again there is a rainfall. So this keeps on going till the completely the monsoons occur, children. Then that is what is about your loo and the breezes, children. Dust storms are very common in the month of May. These storms bring temporary relief as they lower the temperature and bring temporary relief as they bring light rains and cool breeze also. Children, one more thing you might have observed, when there is suddenly there is rain, you might have observed thunderstorms associated with violent winds, torrential downpours, often accompanied by hail. Sometimes you observe, even in the summers, there are thunderstorms. That is, the lightning of the this is there. Lightning of the cloud. Lightning is there in the clouds in the sky. Then you see lots of thunderstorms with lot of sound, and then there will be violent winds and suddenly heavy rainfall. And that heavy rainfall is not in the form of the droplets, it's in the form of hail. Hail matlab ole, children. That circular form of droplets of the water, which is little hard, that falls onto the ground very hard. And in West Bengal, these storms are known as Kal Baisakhi. I've come across this during the monsoons. I've taught you this again. Kal Baisakhi. Because Baisakhi is a festival of harvest. And in West Bengal, when the crop is ready to get harvested, at that time, that is the rice crop, because in West Bengal rice is grown more, so the rice is ready and it is just before the harvest, there is hailstorm and the crop gets destroyed. That is why they call it as not Baisakhi, Kal Baisakhi means something which has destroyed their festival Baisakhi. So काल आ गया, जिसको हम in Hindi also we say काल आ गया. So काल means something which has destroyed. So काल बैसाखी, that is what they call it as. And then we talk about the last feature of summers. काल बैसाखी is 1 mark question, children. Very, very important 1 mark question. So you go through that. And let's come to the end of the summer season. What happens in the end of the summer season? In the end of the summer season, children, we observe pre-monsoon showers. What do we observe? We observe pre-monsoon showers. What do you mean by pre-monsoon? जो मॉनसून आता है उससे पहले जो बारिश होती है, that is called as pre-monsoon showers. Rainfall before actual monsoon has started, because when the summer is at very high peak in the month of May and June, the winds are attracted from the sea to land, and that brings some amount of rainfall, which is called as pre-monsoon, and it starts in the states of Kerala and Karnataka, because the winds are blowing from sea to land. So from Arabian Sea to land, when it is beginning from the Arabian Sea, it reaches Kerala and Karnataka. So that's why pre-monsoon showers are reached. And what are these pre-monsoon showers are called as, children? You will be surprised. These pre-monsoon showers are called as mango showers. Now you will think, why mango showers? What it is, how it is related with mango? Because, children, these small less amount of rainfall pre-monsoons, they help in early ripening of mangoes. They help in early ripening of mango. Children, let me tell you one thing about mangoes. In Delhi, you get mangoes in the months of generally late in the last week of June and July, because we get the mangoes from UP, and in UP, rainfall is in the months of end of June and July. So we get in Delhi these mangoes in the months of end of June and July. But in go to southern India, you go to Kerala, Karnataka, here you will get mangoes in the months of March and April. By the time you go in June, the mangoes are over. So that's why, that because even the ripening of mangoes depends upon the monsoons. So that completes your summer or the hot weather season also, children. And we now come to the completely the last part, advancing monsoon, retreating monsoon. All these, children, we have already done from the figures. So we come to the last part of the chapter, and that's your distribution of rainfall. This is the distribution of rainfall, children. This also we have done while I was doing the map, that figure work in the last 2 or 3 videos. That means distribution of rainfall means in India, rainfall is how it is distributed. Children, it is distributed unevenly. For example, all these points you have to give. For example, when we talk about the western coast and the northeastern part of India, they receive very high amount of rainfall, around or above 400 centimeters. That's first point. Second point, it is the rainfall is very less than 60 centimeters in the western Rajasthan and adjoining parts of Gujarat, some parts of Haryana and Punjab. Rainfall is equally low again in the interior part of the Deccan Plateau and east of Sahyadris. Now, the question is, why do these regions receive low rainfall? Why some of these regions like Deccan Plateau region, east of Sahyadris receive low rainfall, or western part of India receives low rainfall, children? Do you remember what I said? Because when I talk about western part of Rajasthan, it lies in the leeward side of Aravallis. In the same way, when I talk about Deccan Plateau and Sahyadris, they lie in the leeward side of Western Ghats. That's why they receive very less amount of rainfall. And the another area which receives low amount of rainfall is Leh in Jammu and Kashmir, which is at very great height. So it receives very less amount of the rainfall from the monsoons. The rest of the country, other than these areas which I've talked, they receive moderate amount of rainfall. So let's divide this whole paragraph into three parts. 3 points, children. First point, regions receiving high rainfall. I'm repeating first point, regions receiving high rainfall above 400 centimeters. They are western coast of India and northeastern parts of India. For example, Mawsynram, which is in the northeastern part of India, receives highest amount of rainfall in the world. Second point, regions which receive low amount of rainfall, regions which receive low amount of rainfall, less than 60 centimeters, less than 60 centimeters. They are Western Rajasthan, interior part of Deccan Plateau, east of the Sahyadris. Repeating, western part of Rajasthan, interior of the Deccan Plateau and east of the Sahyadris. Third, regions receiving moderate rainfall, that is between 60 centimeters to 400 centimeters. The rest of the part of India, rest of the country receives moderate rainfall. That means in India, some regions receive very high rainfall, some regions receive very less rainfall, some regions receive moderate rainfall. And I already told the answer that why some regions receive less rainfall. It is given here because they lie in the leeward side. Rajasthan lie in the leeward side of Aravallis, Rajasthan and Gujarat, and rest of the regions like Deccan Plateau, parts of Deccan Plateau, Sahyadri, eastern part of Sahyadri, Tamil Nadu, these lie in the leeward side of the Western Ghats. That's the answer over, children. And some areas receive floods. Some areas in India receive floods. Some are drought prone. So there is so much of uneven distribution of rainfall in India, children. So if the question comes that rainfall in India is uneven, justify the statement by giving examples. Then you have to give these 3 examples and then you have to write that why some regions receive low rainfall, and then you have to write that some regions are affected by floods like Assam. We have talked about that in Assam there are floods, and in some regions like Western Rajasthan they are drought prone. That's what you have to give, children. Then the last part we go to the quickly we end up monsoons as a unifying bond. That means monsoons, children, these monsoons are very important for our country. Our country is very lucky to receive these monsoons because they moderate the temperature. Number one, they moderate the temperature. Whenever there is rainfall, it will bring the temperature down. Then they also unify us because all the people of our country, all the people of the subcontinent, they wait for these monsoons, and because they also set a rhythmic cycle of seasons. And the uncertainties of rain and uneven distribution of rain also affects the farmers of our country, because our farmers, many of them, even now they are dependent upon these rainfall, children. So our farmers are dependent on these rainfall, because of which our seasons, they wait for these monsoon seasons. And we also studied that what is the India's climate. In one word, it is a monsoon type of climate. All the landscape, animal, plant life, agricultural calendar, life of the people, including their festivities, all these revolve around this phenomena. This is the answer, children, that how monsoons act as a unifying bond. I am repeating this here, that is, it brings much amount of the rainfall to our subcontinent. Also, people wait for these. Many farmers are dependent upon these, and we have a monsoon type of climate. Then this paragraph, the Indian landscape, animal, plant life, agriculture calendar, life of people, including their festivities, revolve around this phenomenon of monsoons, children. So people of the whole country wait for these monsoons, and we also water is provided by these monsoons, which also sets our agricultural calendar. The river valleys which carry this water also unite us into a single river valley unit. So all these points you can include in this answer, that monsoons act as a unifying bond. That's all, children. The whole chapter, children, we have completed. And after this, since we completed the chapter, we'll go for the exercises in the next class, children. Till then, you do all the questions which I have discussed in the chapter. That's all, children. Have a good day.